Welcome back, everybody, to another market day. I'm your designated inquirer. My name's Axel, and today is 8/24/2020. It's just half hour after the market has ended, and today we had an interesting day. Over the weekend, and basically from Sunday night here, or rather in Asia's morning, we had a very steep run-up as President Trump made a, what some might say, premature emergency approval of convalescent serum, which is taken from people who basically have survived the coronavirus, to set up, whoa, this may be a little too loud. I think that should work a little bit better, I think. Anyway, so after that, what most people will call it pre-approval, the market took it as a very, 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 very positive sign, and so it decided to rally. This rally took it basically to an open that was kind of hard to take in, considering at the levels that we're at, and considering at the levels that we closed at on Friday. It ended up going up a whole 1.4%, like gap up, right? So there was no closing of that gap. Like it just leapt forward that amount basically overnight, over the weekend. And so when we went to open, it didn't have much choice to go, right? Either the market was still super enthused about this convalescent serum, or it wasn't, which is not a vaccine. And even then, now we're starting to talk about vaccines on a deeper level in terms of like how much actual herd immunity could it give us, given that now even less people might be inclined to take it, etc. Like there's now some talks of more granular talks about how a vaccine could actually affect the response to coronavirus, and whether or not like we could do a better job, ourselves in trying to get that herd immunity, or if we should just lock down and do what everybody else has done in the world and do a proper lockdown, pay our people for basically providing this civil service, and come out the other side all better for it. But we don't seem to have the will to do that, but that's for another time, nor here nor there. Oh man, so Apple had a nutty day. I think basically the Nasdaq was mirroring what Apple was doing. So if we take a look at Apple here, this is what Apple looked like. It's pretty nuts. The open was a full from close, which is an insanely strong close, by the way. The close went from to open was almost 3%, and went as high as 3.4% up. From then on, it took a dive of 4%. It dove 4% from the open. So approximately what it went up, it went down. But again, going up seems to be a higher percentage than actually going down. But in any case, that's how it looks like what happened. In terms of volume, this was a very high volume day. So if you look at it on the daily chart here, this is actually not a good sign. This could be what actually signals the top for Apple, where it could have taken its sweet time to get to 500, level out, and then keep going up. What we had was basically an explosive top, well, at least what some technicals might call an explosive top. So we're either at a high where here it was different, because here it exploded and it went higher. Here it basically popped and it went a little higher. The next day it was able to maintain its level. Here we'll see how it reacts tomorrow, but if it closes lower, this could be a good top for a good chunk of time. This could be something like this, where we see a decline and it have to work its way over for the next few days. Maybe. We'll see how tomorrow goes. If tomorrow we see weakness, it might be a decent sign that this may be a top at least for a short time, because, well, we still haven't really seen any decent proof. Man, this chart's insane. Decent proof of meaningful turn to signal even a short-term bear market, at least for Apple. But you know, that's difficult to do. For Tesla, if I would punch it in right, Tesla is basically the same picture here. We have it basically kind of exploding its top, nowhere near as dramatic as Apple, but still it went down pretty far. It kind of recovered throughout the day, but it still had a negative day overall, meaning that it could be signaling a top as well. The same thing could kind of be said, and it did settle below the close of Friday, so that also gives some sort of indication as to where the market thinks this thing is going. In either case, this was a slightly actually lower volume day, which is kind of interesting for Tesla considering how hard it's been trading. So this might still have, comparatively speaking, this has a slight relative strength compared to Apple. So we'll see what happens with Tesla in comparison to Apple tomorrow. Now, was there any other information today? Not really. Though it seems to be some hardening rhetoric against China from Trump, and considering that he's going to be speaking all 4 days this week in terms of every day of the Republican convention, and on the last day he's finally going to be accepting the nomination, be prepared to have some raucous days in the market from what he speaks at the rally. So this is going to be very interesting, whether or not he talks about the Fed, whether or not he wants to fire them, whether or not he wants them to continue to lower rates, whether or not he takes a harder stance still on China, whether or not he talks about carnage or whatever, or Iran, or like there's a dozen topics that he could start talking about, and it would move the market significantly either to the upside or to the downside just on his say-so alone. Where he starts to have limited impact is actually on whether or not he has power to enact action. But he's not, he's going to go and speak about whatever it is that he's going to speak about. There's really no telling what he's going to be talking about and what sort of volatility he might inject into the market. This is possibly why, this is exactly why we know that there is higher volatility during election season. So, yeah. In terms of, let's see here. What else can we talk about? We had the NQ that we looked at, which had an insane day, although kind of had a high-end wick, but on very high volume. We had for the S&P 500, we had a new 52-week high today. It finally busted through its previous highs from back in February, which is a very strong signal considering how it ended the day, which is pretty much near the top. For the Dow, we did not reach a new 52-week high yet, but it still broke above previously held highs and basically passed a resistance level here, which goes back decently far. This is a pretty well suited resistance level here, and it seems to be breaching it and settled at the end of the day basically by it without any fanfare whatsoever in terms of slowing down, etc. If we take a closer look here, it went through it with gusto. So that shows you the sort of strength that happens to be in the Dow at the moment as well. As far as the Russell, which indicates the Russell 2000, which are generally RTY, the 2000 smaller companies of the NYSE, or the New York Stock Exchange, it didn't do bad today. It has not been hitting those 52-week highs. It had recently popped up higher to this level here and basically found some resistance. If we go to the daily, we start to map out here where, yeah, that seems to be a pretty good spot there. I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, that seems like a good spot. Up here is probably gonna be another one. This would probably be the next level above that. Considering that it kind of goes back also, we could push it back. That seems like a good level. And there may be a couple levels in between here, but this is what we're looking at the moment. Yeah. So it is using this level down here as a support level, or rather traders of the Russell were able to find support at 1540, and it's going to be going up to, it's going to try and get up to 1605. We'll see how it does it, or with what speed and vigor it tries to get to that level, which should indicate whether or not it blows past this resistance and try and reestablish it as a support on the way up again toward trying to make these 52-week highs. Now, no more than 52-week, it could be a three-year high. Now, let's see here. So those are the Russell, the S&P, and the Nasdaq, and the Dow. Now let's take a look at what Bitcoin did real fast. #/BTC. Now, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, it did run up against some resistance here at this level, and it did go past it. So that is showing some resilience, but it was not able to hold it. It is starting to show some resilience down here at this slightly lower level right here, which was a level to look out for back all the way, if I can show you guys. Let's see if I can show you guys here. I think I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. No? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do it. Okay, back over here. This area right here was basically on the way down. It came up and hit this level, which seems to be generally the resistance level that it's at right now. What it does tell us at the moment is that it's kind of compressing, or it's consolidating basically support at that level where we're at right now, which would be, move this back, this level right here. I'll go ahead and edit the property, we'll make it orange. This level right here is 17, complete that one, 11,708. That's basically the level which it seems to be coalescing around, or consolidating around, which is a really good sign, because if it's consolidating and trying to gather strength around this level, getting people comfortable that this is a fair value for this asset, it can try and reach new levels to the upside. So this has been it might do basically what happens here. It might go sideways here for a little bit and decide to go pop higher above these levels right here. Let's just go ahead and add those in now, because we don't know exactly when it'll hit it or how. but we do know that this is where we basically start to see somewhat blue skies here. And if it tries to make a run at basically 2650, which was a high at least recorded by the NYSE. Now let's see. I think that's about it for now. That's nearly everything. I guess let me talk about a little bit about more about what I hope this channel can be. So if you guys have liked what you guys have been seeing so far, you guys will continue to watch it. Please like, subscribe, as not only does it help the algorithm, but it also helps you guys stay in touch with me as well. If you guys have any questions, please do feel free to ask me. That's why I am here, to try and provide as much value as possible for you guys, but also to share and to illuminate where you guys might be able to find potential value as well. Not only in terms of what is the stock market, but in possibly unregistered assets. Unregistered assets are basically things that you own, that you may already own, that have value, that may increase in value in the future, but that isn't necessarily taxed because, well, the IRS can't necessarily go into your home and take a look at and appraise everything that you own. So there are certain assets that you can have, whether or not it's a collectible, etc., that can accrue value, and you're not necessarily going to get taxed on it. You can sell it later, but whether or not you sell it for cash or you sell it for, in terms of direct deposit, it could be a gain that you can get where basically you're only taxed at the moment that you sell it, kind of like a stock, but you don't necessarily have to report the gains or the change in value at the end of the year. You can either have it basically as an asset indefinitely. You can pass it on to your kids, etc. And it's something that is basically of value that can accrue over time, that you don't necessarily have to pay taxes for it, and you can trade as an asset for other assets as well. So collectibles and tradables and things that you may already own may have value, you don't even know it yet. So I'm going to be starting a series, not necessarily market day, but maybe an index look at assets, that unregistered assets, basically. Unregistered asset index is possibly what I'm probably going to be naming it, or something close to that, where I'm basically going to be pointing to asset classes, whether or not it's in tradable cards, collectibles of different types, whether or not it happens to be your grandmother's sewing machine, your old 90s t-shirts, stuff like that. We're going to be looking at all of it, and it should be fun. I hope you guys think so, and if you guys are interested, please do subscribe, please do ask me. It could be about anything. It could be computer mice, joysticks, yeah. But anyway, that's the end of Market Day for today. This has been your designated Inquirer. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, take care. Bye.